I tell you how truly honored and privileged I am to be in a room today full of people who either are actively involved in the process of protecting children across this state, or people who are in this room who are actively involved in the process of supporting organizations like the Children's Advocacy Center so we can help protect more children in the future. And I got to tell you, I've had the opportunity to participate in a lot of different activities involving children's advocacy centers and, frankly, crime victims issues ever since I became actively involved in Justice for All going back to 1992. And never before have I heard such strong and compelling testimony as Erin's story today. It is moving, it's remarkable, it shows a great depth of character, while at the same time putting a punctuation point on the essential function that children's advocacy centers perform. In that instance in Illinois, in this instance across the state of Texas. You are genuinely having breakfast today with people who truly make a difference in your everyday lives. As was mentioned in the introduction, I've had several different jobs over the past few years. I'm very privileged to be your Attorney General, and before that I truly enjoyed the opportunity to serve you on the Texas Supreme Court, and before that as a state district judge. But candidly, and those who know me best know that there is no job that I have in life that means more to me or is more important to me than the job of being the dad to that little 8-year-old girl. I have a great benefit every single day when I share time with her because I see in her a sense of animated innocence. It's the excitement, the exuberance, the animation that only children truly seem to be able to exhibit. And it's the kind of innocence that all children deserve. But as Erin has so well articulated, unfortunately, it's an innocence that far too many children are robbed of. Right here in Texas, every single year we have more than 50,000 children who are victims of child abuse and neglect. And those, by the way, are just the confirmed cases. There are many more reports that are either never confirmed, never reported. But more than 50,000 children are victimized by child abuse. Nationally, the numbers are just as grim. Every 35 seconds, another child is abused or neglected in this nation. Well, as horrible and heartbreaking as these numbers may be, the truth of the matter is that with the help of the people in this room, there is healing and hope in the future for those children. I work at the Attorney General's office, allows us to see on a first-hand basis the truly invaluable role that organizations like Children's Advocacy Centers perform for the lives of children in this state. Unfortunately, every day, my office deals with the tragedy of child abuse, whether it's working with Children's Advocacy Centers or providing crime victims compensation for counseling services and other medical care for victims. We are committed to helping the victims in this state and committed to preventing future victims from occurring in this state. You know, along those same lines of what Erin mentioned, you mentioned something about Jessica Lunsford. Fortunately, it's a name that probably is all too familiar to the people in this room. Well, when I took over as Attorney General 2.5 years ago, it was before Jessica Lunsford, but was still after a time that so many other Jessica Lunsfords had gone before what happened to her. We see far too often instances where children are abused sexually and sometimes killed, only for us to later find out that the person who is the abuser is someone who had previously been arrested, typically convicted, spent time behind bars. In other words, someone that the criminal justice system already had their hands on was back out on the streets harming someone else. And so I told my staff, I don't want to see that happen again. And so I sent them out to get a record for me, a list of every child sex offender in this state who was out on parole in a violation of that parole. And they brought back that list to me. And then I told them, I want you to go out and arrest all these people, put them back behind bars before they can hurt any other child. And in a short period of time, they've already arrested almost 200 of those people and have them back behind bars, hopefully preventing another child from being victimized at the hands of abuse. Well, also, we are involved in being proactive in trying to educate people more about child abuse, what it is, how to detect it, and how to be involved in the process of dealing with the child who has been victimized. And last week we were very proud to unveil a new tool in the fight against child abuse. We are providing training manuals and materials and videos that will help professionals who deal with children sometimes on a daily basis to help them better recognize the signs of child abuse and better respond to the children who've been victimized. The video which we have here, for those who may want to have a copy, and for those if we are short of them, you can call our office and get a copy, or you can get more information about it on our website. But the video and the companion handbook can be used by people in the education world, teachers, school nurses, school administrators, to help them be involved in the process whenever they see signs of child abuse from the children who go to their school. It's also very helpful to those involved in the medical fields, medical nurses, medical doctors, emergency room officials, anybody who deals with a child on an ongoing basis. This will better educate them about how to best respond to that child, how to best elicit from them the information that is so desperately needed so quickly in order to be able to help that child. When we introduced these materials last week, I was privileged to be joined by an incredibly special woman, a woman who reminds me character-wise a whole lot of Erin, our speaker today. The woman is named Sabrina Kavanaugh. It's a name some of you may have heard before. If not, you may have heard the story I'm going to tell you about. Sabrina and her husband adopted a little girl a couple of years ago from Hutchins, who was the victim of unspeakable abuse. This little girl was rescued after having been confined to a closet for 6 years. She was put in the closet by her biological parents at the age of 2 and was repeatedly abused while in that closet. In the 6 years, or after 6 years in that closet, when she was finally rescued at the age of 8, this girl weighed 25 pounds and was truly on the doorstep of death. She not only was obviously physically and emotionally abused, she was scarred developmentally. She didn't know what the sun was. When her bare feet first touched ground on grass, she thought it was biting her. This is a girl who at the age of 8 had been denied exposure to everyday things that we all understand are basics in life. Well, the good news, two-part process, is for one, with the help of the counselors and medical care individuals who treated her, she is well on the way towards being healed and trying to lead as normal of a life as any child who suffers through that can lead. She is now in the care of Sabrina Kavanaugh and her husband, her adopted parents, for doing a wonderful job of raising that girl. The other good piece of news is that her biological parents, the ones who horrendously abused her for that time, are spending life behind bars, so they will never harm this little girl again or any other